Welcome back to 100 Lies the God Culture teaches about the Philippines. Today's lie concerns Timothy Jay Schwab's claim that Sinbad the Sailor sailed to the Philippines. In his video series Did the Ancient Greeks Sail Around Africa, Tim relates the story of how Sinbad sailed to the Philippines and found sandalwood.
But one last one, and this is from Persia. It's not actually circumnavigating Africa, but more the continuation of the journey to Ophir and Tarshish. This is the famous story of Sinbad the Sailor from Arabian Nights. He left Persia and set sail for the Indies. We all know where that is. That's Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines. It includes the Philippines in their perspective, and even if you go and look it up, it will tell you today that the Philippines is part of the Indies, the East Indies, the islands in the east. But this is really going to be a wow when you see it. Again, this is about 800 BC, and he'll sail from the Persian Gulf, yes, not from even the Red Sea, and no, he doesn't circumnavigate Africa, but he goes to this land, and we'll see. They're right. We continued at sea for some time. They were lost in the Indies somewhere, but where were they? Well, the answer becomes very obvious here. Touched several islands and at last landed at that of Salabat, where sandalwood is obtained. Oh, wait a minute. I think I just heard bells sound. For our Filipino viewers, yeah, you read that right. Salabat. That is a Tagalog word for their famous ginger tea, salabat. Wow. Now, we know why most Filipinos drink it, though. Not because it's good, although it is. No. They drink it because it's widely believed to improve a person's singing voice. Ah, indeed. Just teasing. But anyway, and this is where sandalwood is obtained. Oh, that's also, just so happens, to be the Philippine national tree, the Nara, which is red or yellow sandalwood. Wow. Oh, Sinbad, the famous sailor, was in the Philippines, likely. Who would have known?
In this video segment, Tim says it is likely that Sinbad the Sailor sailed to the Philippines, but in a comment he claims it is definite history. Is Timothy Jay Schwab out of his mind? Does he not know that Sinbad the Sailor is a fictional character from the 1001 Arabian Nights? Sinbad does not exist. And yet Tim refers to his story for support that the Greeks were circumnavigating Africa to the Philippines for 1,000 years from the time of King Solomon to the time of Jesus Christ. It's complete and utter nonsense. Not only is Sinbad the Sailor fictitious, but Tim is lying about where Sinbad sailed. In the first part of the clip where Tim says Sinbad sailed to the Indies, he is citing from Sinbad's first voyage. The part about landing on Salabat where sandalwood can be found is from Sinbad's third voyage. Why cobble these two very different voyages together? What is the point of lying about the voyages of Sinbad the Sailor? Tim makes a big to-do about the island of Salabat, noting it is a Tagalog word for ginger tea and sandalwood is the national tree of the Philippines. But the story mentions an island named Salabat, not a tea. In a different translation it is Salahat. Sandalwood is not exclusive to the Philippines but is also found in India and in other islands in Southeast Asia such as Sabah and Timor. In fact, one editor of this story notes that Salabat is possibly Timor. But where exactly is Salabat or Salahat? Ultimately it is irrelevant because the entire story is fictitious. Now, lest Tim cavil and say that Sinbad the Sailor is based on a real person, that does not matter. Tim did not cite that real person whose name is Solomon Sirf. He even wrote a book about his travels titled An Account of India and China. But Tim did not cite this book in this video, nor does he mention it elsewhere. The fact is he claims the fictional Sinbad sailed to the Philippines as a matter of historical record. It's not true in the slightest. It is simply one more lie about the Philippines from Timothy Jay Schwab, who is the God Culture.